Here is Barkley, left side, big hole. Saquon Barkley! Uh-oh! Barkley! Goodbye! Dunk it in. Doncic, 47.
I'll give him a dunk. On a night you had 47 points, you get the benefit of the doubt.
Moss the back, Karras the snap. Moss the block. Burrow going deep. He's got him! Touchdown! Jamar Chase.
LeBron leaked out. They didn't see him. Here he is down court. It's up and in. Will it count? LeBron James at the buzzer. 23-yard completion. Here goes Taylor. With Pierce in front. Touchdown, Colts.
Curry gets free. Curry puts up a three. Bang! Bang! He ties the game with 6.3 remaining.
Mahomes flushed out again all the way back. Turning the corner. Fires downfield. Caught. Touchdown.
Timeout. SGA. Probing. Piercing. Spinning. Hanging for the lead. And SGA knocks it down with just under a second to go. Oh, hit road. Oh, come on. Justin Jefferson. You got to be kidding. Makes it look so routine. Greatest catch that never existed in NFL history.
Edwards puts up a three. It's good. Anthony Edwards once again. Edwards electricity here in game 4. Here's a first and goal. And he's signaling as he backpedals to the 30. Oh, what a catch! Touchdown, Baltimore.
He's in practice. Giannis says no. Back the other way, Trent. Giannis inside. At both ends.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Matty Ice here with Profit Props. This is the Sharp Side. As always, we will recap yesterday. First, 1-1 here on stream. DeJounte Murray did not get there, ended with 12 assists. Not the game I expected. Wendell Carter under 9.5 RAs hit, but it was sweaty. He had 7 in the first and then none in the second half. So take it how you can get it, I guess. Getting into today's slate, we have 12 NBA games and 1 MLB game. I am on the no-run first inning for New York versus the Giants tonight. Cooler evening in San Francisco. Going to be hard to get the bats, the ball out of the park. Even though it will be warmer early, I do think they're going to struggle, each of these guys, the first time through the rotation. Each of these teams, I should say. Could Judge hit 1 yard in the first? Absolutely possible. Rafael Devers could do the same. With that being said, though, I do really like the Nerfy, and we have got a lot of value locking that in at minus 138. I believe this is up to like minus 150, minus 160 in those spots now. Let's get into today's slate. I have one official play. It is in the first game. Duncan Robinson over 2.5 3-pointers made. Was able to lock this in at – okay, that's rebounds. I was going to say, yeah, I was able to lock this in at minus 125. Depending on what book you have, anywhere up to 132, up to 135, even 139 I like. I said I like this up to minus 140. Yes, sir. Baseball's back. Appreciate you for tapping in. So a couple things here. Last 10 doesn't look great, okay, but there's a couple things we can do. Here, without Cade on the season, over in every game but one. If we go to bottom 10 defense versus position, which should be here, you can see they rank 19th. And that's debatable. I really think Duncan Robinson is more of a 2. I actually believe this morning when I looked at this, they had him ranked as a 2. This season, it was a 62% hit rate. 57% hit rate, bottom 10 defense first position. What do they rank versus spot up? 11th versus spot up, so not as bad. And then also, key thing I'm focusing on here is minutes of 25 or more. On the season, 58% hit rate, bottom 10 defense versus position. Even if you take this off, 64% hit rate. So absolutely love this spot. Hammer spot. I believe it stays competitive. Duncan Robinson. Let me go ahead and add that to the banner. Now, I do have some other leans in this game, nothing that I've officially released, but I have thoughts. Duran's rebounds look good. Let me tell you why. First of all, he's under in both matchups this season. This one was somewhat competitive. This one was very competitive. Let's remove this. I'm pretty sure maybe there were 3 matchups. So 24 minutes, 32 minutes, and 28 minutes. Yeah. So this one, he only played 24 minutes in. This one was a massive blowout. Without Cade tonight, I doubt that happens, although keep in mind Jalen Johnson is questionable. Without Jalen Johnson, there is more potential for this one to get out of hand. But also, Onyeka Okongwu will pull you away from the basket, right? He can shoot the 3 fairly well. And I think that also plays into why Duren's gone under in every game, every matchup this season. I see 127s out there, 132s. FanDuel's at minus 136 on the under. Scores at 130. I definitely lean under Jalen Duren's rebounds here. Not an official play, but I wouldn't be shocked if I added to my card before the end of the day. Conversely, I know it's a difficult matchup, but he's over in all 3 games this season. Jalen Johnson over 16.5 RAs. As I said, he is questionable, so there is somewhat of a concern there. Although if he doesn't go, it's just a void. But if he does go and is not feeling it, that could be problematic. Line 110 to the over at FanDuel. I see multiple 05s as well as a DraftKings over at minus 02. I don't think we see this go 15.5. If it did, it would be an auto bet. We'll leave it as a lean for now. Definitely lean over Jalen Johnson RAs. Another lean I have, Nickeil Alexander-Walker over 18.5 points. Over this in 8 of his last 10 games. Over this in all 3 matchups versus Detroit this season. They're a good defensive team versus transition, good versus his position individually, although his is kind of a blended 1-2 role, even 2-3. Over in all 3 matchups. What was his volume? 14, 19, and 20, and 14 was in the blowout. Again, this is a very strong lean to the over. I do like Nall's over, especially because there's a lot of upside here. If Jalen Johnson doesn't go, he's just going to get even more volume, right? You would assume now the game might be less likely to stay competitive, so that could be an issue. He's over in all but 2 games without Jalen Johnson this season. 16-point blowout win, 17-point blowout loss. So in competitive games without Jalen Johnson, he's over in every single one. First inning boost on MGM. Nerfy is minus 130. Hit it for the max. Hit it for the max. 10, 10, 9. Really love his 3-point volume in each of the last 3 games as well. You're getting a very high line. It's 3.5 plus 140. So you don't see a lot of 3.5s. Granted, it is super juiced to the over. I would say undeniably, I like the interesting. If it's arbable, well, if it's a boost, it should be there till after stream. Lean over. Let's go look at CJ points. Let's just look with Nall this season. So, yeah, take away the first 2. He was on Washington for those 2. Only a 48% hit rate in a difficult matchup. I definitely like Nall much better. I will say he was not here, I don't believe, in any of the 3 games. Yeah, no, he didn't play in any of the 3 games, so keep that in mind when you think about Nall's points. I think Nall's points is more reliant, or I should say, yeah, I guess you could say reliant on Jalen Johnson. I like it more without him, I will say. Nothing official on CJ McCollum. Moving on, Onyeka Okongwu. So his 3's over 1.5 minus 06. I think he hit in 2 of the 3. Yeah, 2 of the 3 this season. That last game, He had 3 attempts, 9 attempts, and 7 attempts in the 2 prior. I do like Onyeka Okongwu's threes here tonight. Also could see, I like his 13.5 points, probably playable 12.5 out there. Yeah, 12.5 points for Onyeka Okongwu. I definitely could see this being a positive play, and I do think it pulls Dern away from the basket. Dyson Daniels, rebounds or double-double. Definitely would like it more without Jalen Johnson. Boards, 6.5 plus money. 5.5. I don't like the 160. 6.5 plus money. 10 and 9 in the in 2 of the 3 games this season. What is the double-double for a sprinkle? Plus 600. He had 1 in the last matchup, and that game was a blowout. Now, who did and did not play? Jalen was there. Nall was there. Okay. Let's go look at his rebound chances in each of those games. 12, 13, and 12. I do like Dyson Daniels over his rebounds plus money for a little sprinkle. I do like Dyson Daniels over his rebounds plus money. Plus 121, plus 116. I probably would not risk a whole unit, but at a half a unit, I couldn't talk you off of it. Double-double, even at like a 0.1 or 0.2, I couldn't talk you off of either. I do like that line. And a lot of upside because if Dyson doesn't go, or I'm sorry, if Jalen doesn't go, I'm sure it's a small sample. That surprises me a little bit, I will say. But regardless, I would lean over that 6.5 at plus money for sure. Tobias feels like a game where he could get going. 3.5 points, 13.5 points. I would lean over that number. I would lean over his assist number here as well. But let's look at the potentials. 7, 10, 9, and 6. Potentials look good. I think I got to go Tobias Harris over his RAs here. Give me 1 second, too. I got to go check on my dog. My apologies. We're back. See, Jenkins just killed my Lakers, so Jenkins actually makes a lot of sense in this matchup as well. 12 RAs versus the Lakers. Yeah, 30 points versus the Lakers. He's going to play super big minutes. I think he ran 33 versus us, 39. Let's go. Yeah, Dennis Jenkins, PAs even look good. What was the request on him? PRs, yeah, I like points and assists. PRs would probably be fine as well here. Yeah, even the PRAs, 27.5 minus 125 would be a pretty good look to the over, I think, there as well. Kuminga, we don't know what his minutes are going to be. They've been fairly sporadic. 19, 22, 18, 19. 25, 29. So we don't know what his minutes are going to be. Without Jalen Johnson, though, I think he could have a really big role. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be something that's Jalen Johnson dependent, I think. Paul Reed also wouldn't be surprised if he had a pretty decent night. No Stewie here. Yeah, I would lean over Paul Reed as well. A lot of leans in that game. I want to get some Jalen Johnson official news. Duncan Robinson, 3s over is official. Nall, points over is a very close lean. Jalen Johnson, RA's over, another lean. Duran, rebounds under, another pretty strong lean. Dennis Jenkins. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I like in this game. Let's see if Jalen Johnson's in. And if he is in, I expect the game to be competitive. If I expect the game to be competitive, I probably end up with more volume. Now, a game that I don't expect to be competitive, Lakers versus Indy. Lakers they had a 9-game winning streak. They just lost on the road versus Detroit in a game that they should have won. Luka took a terrible game winner, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't have taken all that. You can't let Dennis Jenkins score 30 on you. That's just, no disrespect to him. Cannot allow that to happen. I think the Lakers come back, win this game very handily. Not anything I'm looking to attack on the Lakers side of the ball, especially offensively. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a late scratch here. I don't think we need everybody as a Lakers fan to win this game, so don't be surprised at all if you see a late scratch. Someone who I think could play well is like a DeAndre Ayton. Ayton, I think, could maybe play well tonight. 9 rebounds, 8 points in that last game. Versus Detroit, he had 13 points, 10 rebounds, 27 minutes, 28 minutes, 29 minutes, 33 minutes. Smart, Rui, both questionable. How many minutes did Hayes run last game? 20. So, yeah, they're basically splitting all center minutes. I would lean over 8 in PRs because Zubox is out. They've got nobody on the interior. 2 days ago, we did cash on a Jarris Walker RA under, but that line is a lot different than when we played it. We played it at 9.5 minus 125, minus 130. It's now 8.5. No good 9.5s out there. If for any reason this were to bump and I could lay like a 130, I'm all for it. But at 8.5, I think the market's just efficient. LeBron RAs, I actually kind of lean under here because if he does play and the game gets, out of hand, I think we see LeBron at like 28 minutes. He only scored 12 points versus Detroit. So if you wanted to go PRA under, I do think that would be kind of a good lean here as well. You are banking on the blowout. Rui is questionable. If this line were anywhere near playable, there's no way he's hitting 3 threes tonight or even 2 threes tonight. So lean under Rui's 3s, but the line is like super juicy, so it might be like a lay piece you want to mix in. That game I don't see to be competitive. Nothing official in it. Now, we can't even touch this game because Joel Embiid is questionable, could return. What does that do to the lineup? Maxi's still out, et cetera, et cetera. Only thing I really can think is Giddey could walk into a triple-double tonight if the game's competitive. Plus 296 over at DraftKings. I do think that play's worth a quarter unit, a half a unit. Otherwise, I kind of want to wait to see what happens with Joel Embiid. So nothing official in that game. Miami versus Cleveland. This one could be rather competitive. Jalen Tyson, Jared Allen, both day-to-day. Larry Nance also could return today. So we've got some stuff we're waiting for on the Cleveland side of the ball. We've also got day-to-day for Jaime Jaquez and Norman Powell on the Miami side of the ball. So I do think this is a game you come attack closer to tip-off. Moving on, Boston versus OKC. This one should be a good game. Nothing big on either side of the ball. Vucevic is out post-trade deadline edition, or right at the trade line edition, I should say. Otherwise, though, I think this one should be a very competitive game. Shea, 36, 33, 34, 32 in the last 4 head-to-head. This is a game where I think we see a minimum of like 32, 33 minutes, but no maximums. This season, when he runs those types of minutes, he's over this line in 71% of games played. We also keep in mind that he's over this line in each of the 4 matchups versus Boston last season. That's going to lead me into my next play. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander over 29.5 points, minus 07 at BetRivers. Close, log in. I know Joe Mazzulla is a defensive mastermind, but it doesn't matter if you got Shea's whistle to be like, if he has 20 free throws tonight, what are you going to do about it? 30 plus is actually minus 06, so I'm saving my 1 penny. All right, let me get that out to the tails. Second official play, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander over. Sam Hauser boards, Dort threes. Lou Dort over his threes. Okay. It's not something you hear every day. All right. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, second official play. I like that. Maybe I'll get a write-up out. I haven't had a straight bet write-up in a minute. Nah, I'm not, because straight write-ups don't do numbers unless you get them out overnight. But I could post a lotto at any time and get 500 likes. Shit's crazy, man. Y'all don't fuck with the straights. But that's all right. Those of you that are tapped into this space do fuck with the straights. Don't let me. I ain't talking about y'all. Wow, 24.5 for Jaylen Brown tonight. Line does feel kind of low. 34 in the matchup earlier this season. I will say that was no Tatum. But last four with Tatum, 41, 32, 30, 29. Minnesota, solid defense. Memphis, ass. Golden State, okay. Phoenix, actually a solid, pick and roll defense, perimeter defense. I've got nothing bad to say about them. And then obviously 34 versus OKC. Would definitely lean over this 24.5 number for Jaylen Brown. I'm not too worried about the defense versus position stuff. Clearly not too worried about the transition stuff. Tatum being back would be, your biggest question mark, but quit eating cat food. I will say it's a very strong lean to Jaylen Brown over his points. I wouldn't be shocked if I add that before the end of the day. Definitely going to go back over the slate as the day progresses. Yeah, I do lean over that over. I do lean over for JB. Tatum. Line is only 19.5. I think that tells us a lot. I think this is a decent spot to fade Tatum. If you're a Boston fan, I hate to say it. Tatum under 28.5 PRs is tempting. Tatum, I got nothing on the other guys by Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. Nothing. No, nothing. We get a 14.5 line for Chet. I actually think that's a little too low, and we've made a bunch of bread on his unders. 14.5 feels a little too low for me. I wouldn't touch it. Hauser's boards. I don't like his minutes since Tatum's returned. It's a tough matchup. I'm cool off of that one. San Antonio, I'm not even touching that game. Washington versus Utah. There's 5 props open. I'm cool off of that. Let's move on to Houston versus Minnesota. We can do this, and this. KD 39 in his last matchup on 40 minutes. That was with Sengun. That was with a healthy lineup. I think that 25, 26 number is sharp. If this were over 24.5, I'd love it. 26.5, I don't want to be on either side of it. Books have just put a efficient lineup, and you gotta accept that. If you got a sneaky 30.5 PR sometime today, that 125. Okay, so these numbers here I feel like are somewhat attackable. Outside of that, though, nothing. Alperen and Sengun rebounds. I thought he had a good game last matchup. Yeah, 14 and 25. I'm assuming you're asking for the over. Line is only 9.5. While it is a difficult matchup, that he has excelled in the past. There's no way you should pay a better price. He's not getting it. He's not getting there with the assists. I absolutely would lean over here. Klingen. We're not in the Portland game. There's some over 8.5s, actually. If you got the over 8.5 at Bookmaker or at Fanatics, yeah, I would take that. I'm just going to wait and see. I'm just going to wait and see if that line comes down a little bit. I think there's potential that goes to 8.5. I would actually definitely lean under Nas points. I think I would lean Nas under his PRAs now that you say it. Now, I don't know if you were meaning, you said points over. Nah, Storch, I don't like that. He's playing a lot of his minutes. He's not playing next to Rudy and Randall no more. He plays next to Kyle Anderson, and he hasn't been as effective. I think it's because it's easier for them to focus on him. Yeah, no, if anything, I'm leaning under Nas Reed. Yeah, no, Sengun definitely got hella boards versus them. I am just going to wait and see if we can somehow get an 8.5 number. I think it's possible at this point. Head-to-head didn't go over in the last one. Lean over Thompson RAs, nothing official there. Jaden McDaniels, we can clear this. We can do this. This. Absolutely difficult matchup for Jaden McDaniels, as is Minnesota for anybody. If anything, I'd lean over his points. We've obviously seen his aggression levels go up since Ant went down. Not an official play, though, just to lean. Move on to Dallas versus Denver, 12-point spread. Don't be surprised if you see late scratches. We've got 12, 12, 12. We'll move on to the last game of the night where it's a 4-point spread. I'm not wasting my time on 12-point games. Do I think Luka clears 30 points tonight? Yeah, I do. Easily. I think his line was 32 or 33.5. If the line were 30 plus, it would have been a no. It's 34.5. So yeah, no, I do, but at 34, we're having different conversations. All right. I mean, this number feels low off the rip, right? Couple 26.5, couple 27.5. Rivers is 26, 122. FanDuel's 26, 125. I do really like, former team. Got the chip there. 26.5. I think I got to run it. You're just asking for a competitive game. He does look injured, like he's playing through something. But, I mean, he's still over and back-to-back. These are two kind of cupcake matchups. That's a cupcake. That's a cupcake. That's a cupcake. That's a tough matchup. Tough matchup. Cupcake. In the middle. Cupcake. All right. So he has played a lot of shit teams lately. I'll give him that. I don't like the threes as much as the points. I like the points better. Man, ain't no disrespect, but I'd rather live in Cali than Canada if I'm going to pay the same taxes. Come on now. You ever been to Southern California? It's sunny and warm every day. Leave it as a lean. Leave it as a lean. I'm probably going to bet that shit, though, for the day ends. Ingram and Quickly are both day-to-day. Taxes are even worse up there. That's my point. That's my point. Oh, I'm sure it's a good city for the fans. Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. I don't doubt that at all. Scotty's rebound line is all the way down to 6.5. What's his RA's line? Ingram and Quickly are both still questionable. Yeah, I'm going to call it here. 30 minutes. That's what I said. Until we get into the flow of baseball, this is probably about the amount of time it's going to take. So, updates. 2 official NBA bets. I got a lot of leans. Keep an eye out on the timeline. I'm probably going to end up with, if I had to guess, I end up with like 5 or 6 plays. So, there probably 3 or 4 late ads. I'm going to watch how lines move. Going to wait on injury news. And, those are the 2 things that I'm basically focused on there. I do have one other play. Let me just add it. And then I do have a Nerfy lean. Are they up yet? They are up. Okay. So we're going to look at this for the first time together. The updated version. Cool. All right. Let's see what they got to offer this year. Now, please tell me they've got a Nerfy tab. It's day 1, so if they don't, I'm not going to be pissed. But last year we had a Nerfy tab. Cannot have got rid of my Nerfy tab. Hits, home runs. This is really what I wanted to look at. Cody Bellinger over hits, runs, and RBIs. Oh, wow. At-bats, right-hand pitcher at-bats. Batting second in the lineup. Wow, this is cool. Starter left-hand pitcher, starter right-hand pitcher, just left-hand pitcher, just right-hand pitcher. Okay, this is cool. At-bats, right-hand at-bats. Pitches faced. Interesting. Okay. These are all new to me as well. There is no Nerfy news anyways. Okay, we got the spray chart down here. Ooh, we've got correlation plays too. So when Aaron Judge crosses his HRRs, Cody Bellinger had cashed his hits in 8 of the last 10. Granted, the line's 2-1, minus 200. What is Cody's hits, runs, and RBIs? Is FanDuel offering HRR props this year? Oh, you know what? I think they did the end of last year. They just didn't offer the unders. It was just overs. Just playing around with some of these filters. Wow, you can see when he bat third in the lineup, which would help him get more. Although, did he lead off some? Can't remember now. Honestly, does Cody Bellinger hits, runs, and RBIs over 1.5? If you were tapped in with me last baseball season, this was a money printer. I'm not even going to lie. This probably saved me from not being in a massive hole last year. Like, this saved me. Yeah, Valet. Yeah, no runs in the first. I got it at minus 138 last night. I don't know what it's at currently. Yeah, they do have it. Minus 105. Christine, what is it now? What is it now? Just out of curiosity. I know there's some boosts and shit out there. If y'all got MGM, Storch said they boosted it up to minus 130. Minus 150. Yeah, that's a little juicier than I'd like to pay too, low key. 165 at Bet Rivers. Okay, yeah, that's pricey. I want to bet Cody Bellinger PRAs here, but it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's a cooler evening. If he hits it, I'll be pissed. But you know what? We've got some other, like, SGPs and stuff. So I'm going to put that in an SGP, like a 0.1, 0.2, whatever's being offered. And I think that's all we're going to do for today. We got the 2 official NBAs, the Nerfy. I do have a home run lotto out. Look, let's just be real. It's a cool day. FanDuel gave me a 50% boost. I'm not the type of person that's going to use my 50% boost to turn a minus 150 into an even money. I'm trying to turn plus 5,000 into plus 10,000. You feel me? So 3 long shots, $10, which I just want to put into perspective. As a portion of my bankroll, $10 is like 0.001. It's this much. So if you got $100, bet like 10 cents on the shit. I mean, but to your bankroll, that 10 cents is going to pay you out like $50. You know what I'm saying? So like it goes a long ways. These are lottos, you know, small bets. If I release 10 and your bankroll's 100, you shouldn't put 10 on the bitch. You know what I mean? It's 0.1 of your units, which would be $1. Yeah. So that, or 10 cents, like I said. So that's my little spiel about the home run lottos. We're going to hit 1 or 2 on the season. We are. But we might miss the first 40 because that's how the fucking lotto works. We're going to get plus 250x. So we could lose the first 249. If we hit that 250, we're even. I don't expect to miss the first 249. But we might fuck around and miss the first 50. Or we might hit the first 3. You never know. That's how variance works. So just be disciplined, especially when it comes to these lottos. They're very small bets to win large amounts, and you should be able to overcome them over a long period of time, right? It's not like you throw $100 on each one. You might lose 2-3 bands. Now, if your bankroll's a milli, you can throw it. You know what I mean? But if you're an everyday normal bettor, man, just the lottos are small for a reason. 0.1. I'm betting 1.25 on Duncan. I want you to see the contrast. I'm at 1.06 on Shea, 0.01 on the lottos. All right, that's all I got. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Best of luck tonight. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Until then, man,